This is Matthew Kratter from Bitcoin University, and today I wanted to talk about how BlackRock can destroy Ethereum. The ironic thing is that most of the concerns about how BlackRock can hurt Bitcoin with its coming proposed ETF are actually irrelevant thanks to Bitcoin's proof of work consensus mechanism, but they're actually real concerns when it comes to a BlackRock spot Ethereum ETF, which appears to be in the works. The last couple days we've seen some evidence of this, and iShares Ethereum Trust was just registered in Delaware, and the NASDAQ itself has petitioned the SEC for a proposed rule change that would allow them to list and trade an iShares Ethereum Trust. So it looks like they're at least testing the waters. BlackRock is at least testing the waters. But here's the problem. There's a really big difference. There are many big differences, but one of the really big differences between Bitcoin and Ethereum is that Bitcoin is proof of work. That's its consensus mechanism. Ethereum is proof of stake. Under proof of work, owning more coins does not give you any additional control over the network, but under proof of stake, or owning more coins does give you additional control over the network. And Ethereum already suffers from this problem thanks to the combination of having had such a large pre-mine, which is what you call the initial allocation of coins to insiders, as well as moving from proof of work to proof of stake in what was called the merge of September 2022. And this problem is about to get much worse, as we suggested back in June when I said in this video that a BlackRock ETF for Ethereum would actually be disastrous. Before we go into that though, I just ask you, if you're enjoying this video so far, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and especially if you're a regular watcher of this channel, like the video if you're enjoying this. Leave a comment, question, suggestion, topic for a future video, and share this video with a friend or family member as well. So here's how a BlackRock Ethereum ETF would work. Basically, when someone buys the BlackRock Ethereum ETF, they would be effectively giving money to BlackRock, which would then take that money, buy Ethereum with it, and then deposit that Ethereum with Coinbase custody as a backing for the ETF shares. Now together, BlackRock and Coinbase can choose whether or not to stake that ETH. If they don't stake, they're going to get slowly diluted out of the network by those who do stake their ETH. If they don't stake, they're also missing out on easy profits from ETH staking rewards. So they're definitely going to stake their ETH. This has been a major profit center for Coinbase since the merge, and other exchanges as well. Now, when you stake ETH, you get chosen to produce and validate the next block. This is the equivalent of mining in Ethereum that's now proof of stake. Instead of miners, you have validators or stakers. When you stake ETH, you get chosen to produce and validate the next block in proportion to how much ETH you own. And this is where it makes a really big difference under proof of stake. The more coins you have, the more influence you have over the network, the more ETH you own, the more blocks you get to produce. When you produce a block, you get to decide which transactions get included in that block, and that gives you, as the ETH validator or staker, the power to censor transactions. Now, this is not a huge problem as long as there are lots of other stakers, but when one staker becomes quite large, as Coinbase custody has the potential to become under this proposal, and Coinbase custody already is holding a huge amount of ETH. But when one staker becomes very large in a proof of stake system, the censorship resistance of that whole network breaks down. And when that one staker is a government, a US government regulated entity like both BlackRock and Coinbase are, the US government can then easily apply pressure to BlackRock or Coinbase to censor ETH transactions, to tell them to censor ETH transactions and not include them in a block. Now, why is this a problem? Well, if your crypto is not censorship resistant, you might as well, what's the whole point? You might as well be just using US banking rails like PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. They're not censorship resistant either, but they work fine until they don't like your political speech and you get kicked off of them, or they just decide to freeze your account randomly for 6 or 12 months. If this is the environment you want to bank under, you might as well use traditional US banking rails instead of using Ethereum in that sense, in that case, because Ethereum is going to be censoring you already at the behest of the US government through Coinbase and BlackRock. As we said, fiat is faster, cheaper, and subject to that same US government censorship. This is what's been happening to Ethereum this year in 2023. It's been getting completely killed by Solana, which is ironic because Solana is an even more centralized VC venture capitalist coin. Now, after an ETH ETF, there's going to be nothing left of Ethereum, just a giant, disgusting, controlled currency for quote-unquote ultrasound money LARPers. That was an idea that they stole from their big brother, Bitcoiners, and they tried to do it, but ETH is not ultrasound money because its monetary policy can be changed and has been changed many times. The end game for ETH and for all quote-unquote successful proof-of-stake blockchains is this centralization of validators among regulated entities like exchanges, custodians, ETF providers, etc. And the world is going to have to learn the hard way what makes proof of work so special. And when they learn that, they're going to realize that there is only one proof of work coin that has global recognition and immaculate conception and network anti-fragility. And that is not a dog coin. That's not Dogecoin. That is Bitcoin. There's no second best. And so what might happen with a BlackRock ETH ETF, BlackRock might indeed end up pumping your ETH bags, but you better get out fast, because getting access to your profits, you might need to make sure that your immunization schedule is up to date, that you haven't said anything that the regime doesn't like on social media. I'm sort of looking to where I'm skating to where the puck is going in terms of the US becoming more like the CCP. And this has definitely been the trend over the last 5 years. And so if you want to access your ETH profits, you're going to have to conform to the regime and do what they say, or the US government or Coinbase or BlackRock will just freeze your brokerage account with your ETH ETF holdings in it, as well as censoring your ETH transactions on the base chain if you're holding ETH itself using their validators. And that's the best case scenario, actually. Worst case scenario is that the SEC still ends up suing Ethereum for issuing unregistered securities, and an ETH spot ETF is never authorized in the US. This is another real possibility as well. And then in that case, the Ethereum community is just going to have to sit back and watch all of the capital flow into Bitcoin. That's certainly what's been happening since the merge of September 15th, 2022. Bitcoin has appreciated markedly against Ethereum. Ethereans, we're talking about the flippening that would happen here, but what has really happened has just been the floppening instead. And this is the problems that will surround an ETH ETF as well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.